say, hell yeah.
We're going to hold on to him by the nose, and we're going to kick him in the ass. We're going to kick the hell out of him all the time, and we're going to go through him like crap through a goose.
From the expat home of the resistance, it's the Bill Show. And now, brothers and sisters in solidarity, here's Bill and Randy. Hello, Randy.
Oh, is this really you?
Really is me.
Is this really you?
It really is me.
Thank goodness. I've had people call up and say they were you, and it turns out they weren't.
That's right.
They were just they were scamming me. They were phishing.
They were scamming you. It was me. No, it is me. Hey, listen to everybody
Now, how
out
do
there.
I know
Let's
it's
wave
really
hi
you?
to all of our.
Can you tell me something that only you would know?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you wear flannel pajamas with the days of the week on them.
No, that's my underwear.
Well, let's wave.
And then it also says front and back, so you can change it.
Let's wave hi to everybody who has not heard that much of us in the last month. How you going, everybody?
Hello, everybody. We're waving at you. As who the hell cares?
Yeah.
They're not hearing this for days.
Not for days. Hey, listen, guys. I got to say one thing. That one of the reasons that we didn't do a show is that kind of thing where you just kind of look at what's been happening, and with the Mueller, not the Mueller report, because we haven't seen that yet.
Who has seen it? Nobody's
seen it. No one's seen it.
Except the Mr. Barr, who summed it up as no collusion.
Yeah. Oh well, that's a real surprise. Gee, the guy who was hired basically to come to that conclusion came to that conclusion, and now we can't see the report. But this has been a very complex time, and we thought we'd chime in and have our little go with it. Because we've been talking about the Mueller report and looking forward to the Mueller report for a very, very long time. And
a very, very, very long time.
And what we should say is, we have not seen the Mueller report, people. You have not seen it. So
nobody's seen it.
No one's seen shit. Okay? So...
and now Trump says it's not that interesting, I'm not going to release it.
No, it's not really. Oh, you don't want to see that. No.
There's nothing in there.
That little thing couldn't be anything.
So it's only, how many, 10,000 pages long?
Yeah, no,
and
it's...
somebody...
well, evidently Barr read the entire thing in one night.
Yeah.
And surprise, came up with conclusions that evidently pay no attention to what you've seen and heard in the last 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah. And just because it says no direct involvement of the Russians does not mean that Trump is not guilty of some pretty mean shit.
No, that's true. And let me tell you something. I don't give a shit what Barr says. I think the guy's dirty. I think that there was collusion. I think that, and I have yet, folks, whether or not indictments came, you don't know the pressure that was put on Mueller. You don't know the circumstance that was that he was under. And what you're seeing, however, is something very, very strange. But before we get into it, we do have to play, I guess, our Trump intro for this.
I love that.
Yeah,
I live
the
for
Trump
that.
intro, ladies and gentlemen.
That's my favorite thing.
For show number 3, is it 300 yet? What is it?
No. It's 2:30.
2:30.
Oh. You know, Chinese dentist time.
It's 2:30, ladies and gentlemen, and here's our intro for the amazing Trump.
Oh my God, please help me knee deep in the river trying to get clean. He says, wash your hands, get out the stains, but you best believe, boy, there's hell to pay. Yeah, you best believe, boy, there's hell to pay. Say it.
I'm going to bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's got to be biblical.
According to your reporting, everyone around the president, senior advisors, family members, every single one of them questions his intelligence and fitness for office.
Let me put a marker in the sand here. 100% of the people around him. The one description that everyone gave, everyone has in common. They all say he is like a child.
No matter what you do, you're gonna learn the truth.
Yes, it's probably the most important and interesting time that we've had on Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to exactly what's been going on in the...
Yeah, what's been going on?
What's been going on? Evidently, as it has been said, the Mueller report has not been released, but everybody's basically saying that it's kind of a waste of time now. Through the last 3 weeks, we've had to listen to a lot of shit from Donald. Basically, it was all a hoax. And now he's going to go after these people, evidently for treason, which is something he knows a lot about. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's...
He's not, I mean, like, just because there was he had nothing directly to do with the Russians doesn't mean that there's not a whole lot of stuff in that report about what a crook he is.
Yeah. Well, let's have a listen to what Donald's been saying at his rallies after the fact that he has not released the report that we were all waiting for. So here is the Donald going a bit batshit at a rally. You know the drill. Here it is in Carolina over the break. There it is.
The Democrats have to now decide whether they will continue defrauding the public with ridiculous bullshit. And after 3 years of lies and smears and slander, the Russia hoax is finally dead. The collusion delusion is over. Total exoneration, complete vindication, and all of the current and former officials who paid for, promoted, and perpetuated the single greatest hoax in the history of politics in our country.
Yeah, nothing to see here. It's all a hoax. Everybody is all a hoax.
I love how he got somebody to write all that stuff, like the collusion delusion, and
yeah.
He would never have thought that shit up himself.
No. You ever notice that when he's reading a speech, sometimes he just looks down at the page and is really impressed with it, with whatever somebody has written for him to say. Collusion delusion is evidently over. We don't buy that over here. I think that when you're looking at Trump, you knew that it was going to be bullshit. You knew the fact that the Mueller report hasn't been released. But what you are seeing right now is a con. It is a con, a total con. Now, this came out just the other day after he did a round of all this kind of collusion delusion kind of thing. He said that basically the report itself really shouldn't have to be released at all.
Yeah.
You know, it's just really the immediate wake. Here it is. This is from New York Magazine. In the immediate wake of Robert Mueller's announcement that he has not established a criminal conspiracy, the jovial president declared right afterward, said, let it come out, let people see it, that's up to the Attorney General. But over the last few days, there's been a change, Randy. I wonder.
Sure.
The administration's position on full disclosure has grown somehow quieter. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, periodic murmurs have suggested perhaps the report will amount to something other than a total vindication. No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well, we knew that.
Privately, some Trump advisors acknowledge those attacks may have a shelf life and that they are deploying them in part to blunt questions about Mr. Trump's own credibility. As senior White House official told colleague Olivia Nussey for this report, there will be plenty of unfavorable things about the president in the full report. You think? Which we think will eventually come out. Oh, yeah, they'll come out, sweetie. They're going to come out.
It's going to be leaked. It's going to be leaked.
So let's not go overboard saying there's no wrongdoing. Yeah. Let's move on. No.
Well,
No.
Vladimir Putin's come out and said, well, who have I been dealing with all those years?
That's right. That's right. It's one of my favorite onion
I
things.
thought it was Donald.
It was
yeah.
Donald, man. There is no amount of testimony or document production that can satisfy Jerry Nadler's shifty Adam Schiff, Trump tweeted. It is now time to focus exclusively on properly running our great country. Fuck you, Donald. Fuck yourself.
Well, what has he been trying to do for the last 3 years? He certainly hasn't been properly running it.
No. Today, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, answered a question about the Mueller report by calling Democrats wanting to see the report that the president promised to release as sore losers.
What?
Trump is now calling...
Sore losers?
Oh, yeah, we've lost already, yeah. No, it's not a game. And your boss is dirty. Your boss is dirty. If you think I'm climbing down from one fucking thing that we've said on this broadcast for the last 2 years, it's like everybody wants you to be hypnotized and just forget everything that you've seen. We're not going to do that. Okay. Trump is now calling demands to release the report, just the demands to release the report that a week ago he said everybody should have a look at. Evidently, those demands right now are a disgrace and a waste of time.
Well, let us be the judge of that. If it is, then we'll say, oh, what was that all about?
Yeah, that's right. So let's go over. I just made a few notes because of some of the things that we said. And then I want to play a clip for you. Richard Schiff, by the way, great speech that he made recently.
Oh, yeah.
But let's go over just quickly some of the things that we're supposed to absolutely ignore. Trump developed financial ties with Russia back in the 80s. Within the last decade, it accounted for a significant, if not dominant, share of his incomes. Russians make up a pretty disproportionate cross-section of our assets, said Donald Trump Jr. in 2008. Meanwhile, Trump was running around saying, I don't know Russia. What's Russia? Don't rely on American banks. We have all the funding we need out of Russia, reportedly boasted in 2014. He has concealed the extent of these ties by refusing to publish his tax returns, but a lot of Russian financing of his business over the last decade and a half is a matter of public record. The scope of Russia's financial leverage over Trump remains hidden. Yeah, I can understand why you don't want us to see your taxes, but the basic fact is it is undeniable. Trump had at minimum a strong financial incentive to stay in Putin's good graces. Second, Trump and Russia cooperated actively during the campaign. 17 campaign officials and advisors and had 100 contacts with Russians during that campaign. They attempted to cover up these contacts by lying about them repeatedly, frequently risking perjury charges by doing so before Congress and the FBI. The breadth and depth of the commitment in refusing to acknowledge their Russian contact is striking. No, it's because he's guilty and impossible to square with an innocent explanation. Trump's foreign policy advisor, George Papadopoulos, met in April 2016 with Joseph Mifsud, who told Papadopoulos he had returned from Moscow and had learned dirt about Hillary Clinton. Papadopoulos later said he couldn't guarantee he didn't share this information with fellow campaign staffers. Donald Trump Jr. set up a meeting in Trump Tower premised on what was pitched to him as part of the Russia and its government support of Mr. Trump. He went to a goddamn meeting and then he lied about it.
Yeah.
Not only was he at the meeting, but the actual head of your campaign, Paul Manafort, was at that meeting.
Paul Manafort, who's in jail.
Who's in jail. During the campaign, Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort passed campaign data to Konstantin Kalimnik. Dun, dun, dun. His former business partner, an active Russian intelligence agent. This was not political gossip, but very detailed data running to 75 pages in length. Trump also clearly used Roger Stone as an intermediary to WikiLeaks. The indictment of Stone notes a senior Trump official was directed to contact Stone about any additional releases and what other damaging information they had. Michael Cohen has testified to Congress that he overheard a conversation between Trump and Stone about WikiLeaks. Another Trump campaign operative, Peter W. Smith, working under Michael Flynn, attempted to acquire more Clinton emails by reaching out to Russian hackers. On January 6th, the day the U.S. intelligence community reported that Putin had approved a covert operation to subvert the presidential campaign and assist Trump, Andrew Intrater, who is a giant holding company by oligarch Victor Vekslesberg with interest in metals mining, construction, transport, energy, and the financial sectors in Russia abroad, donated $250,000 to Trump's campaign fund. Guys, you know what? I know bullshit. This is bullshit. We've been talking for 2 years about the fact that Donald Trump is dirty as sin, and he has not released that report. And by the way, when it comes to Mueller, I want to play something to you. It's not like Mueller hasn't made mistakes before. Here's a little something that came up the other day that I thought it might be interesting to put out there. The question is, not whether Mueller's dishonest. The question is, can Mueller be put under pressure to go with the company line? Is he really the person who will buck the company line when he knows it's wrong? I bring you now the dulcet tones of Robert Mueller back in the Iraq days. Have a listen.
As Director Tenet has pointed out, Secretary Powell presented evidence last week that Baghdad has failed to disarm its weapons of mass destruction, willfully attempting to evade and deceive the international community. Our particular concern is that Saddam Hussein may supply terrorists with biological, chemical, or radiological material.
The truth is that when there was considerable discussion, and if you read about the Iraq War, you know that there was considerable discussion between the FBI, the CIA, that they were pushing this weapons of mass destruction without any proof.
True.
And certainly Valerie Plame's memo, and certainly what they said, and Scooter Libby and the Vice President Dick Cheney's zest to get us involved in the Iraq War seemed to be something that Robert Mueller was fully willing to play a part in. So I would say that you don't know what pressure Mueller has been put under, and I really do think that you have to look at the whole thing. And not only that, look at what you've seen. What have you seen? Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen a collection of crap that is unprecedented. We have seen basically Donald Trump commit obstruction of justice on national television.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, on the Lester Holt interview, he was asked, why did you get rid of Mueller? Rid of Mueller because he's investigating Russia. That's the exact thing on a tape in the White House that Richard Nixon did that got him bounced out of office.
Yeah.
The first thing that Richard Nixon was accused of was obstruction of justice. Now, Mueller comes out with a statement and says, I cannot clear him from obstruction of justice. I cannot exonerate him from this. That means there is evidence there. But I'm not prepared to prosecute.
Yeah.
Damn it, you're a prosecutor. That's what you do. Why are you not prosecuting this, especially when it happened in broad daylight in front of television cameras?
Yeah.
This smells, ladies and gentlemen, it smells to high heaven.
So what?
And,
but I mean, you can't make. I mean, he's historically a conservative. He's a Republican.
Yes.
He's a team player.
Yep.
He's going to try to go right down the middle.
I think that if you look at what both Comey and Mueller have done so far, it has not been of great help.
No.
You know, to
certainly
remove
not
an
call me on
obviously insane
3 days
person.
before the election saying
Absolutely.
Hillary's emails, Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi. Those were the magic words.
And you know, the thing is that what they're going about doing now is that Barr, the stooge, he's a stooge. He's a stooge.
He is.
The Barr, the stooge, has basically come back, and now they're hedging, and they're saying, well, we're going to have to delete a lot. We're going to have to edit these.
Oh, redact it, yeah.
We're going to have to redact them. Oh, really? Now you have to redact them. Now you have to redact them, and now, evidently, it's a waste of time that we all see them. This is bullshit. It is bullshit from one. You would have expected
what could
this.
they possibly redact? There's prosecutions underway.
Listen, there's no prosecution from Mueller's end on the people that I thought would be worthy of prosecution.
Yeah.
At the very least, I thought that obstruction of justice was a slam dunk. And then I get the report that says, I've just decided not to prosecute. Well, that's bullshit, folks. That's just bullshit.
Yeah.
And every news person was parroting this, that he's clear, that's it. Until Richard Schiff, a person I think we should admire, because this guy got up during the Intelligence Committee, the Republican assholes like Devin Nunes, who are corrupt swine, each and every one of them, started blowing their horn and saying, okay, well, now we demand the resignation of of Schiff because of his pursuing the Russia inquiry. And Mr. Schiff shut them down in one of the best speeches I've heard for a very long time. I'm sure everybody here has listened to it. Do you want to listen to it?
I want to hear it. Yes, I want to hear it again.
Let's listen to a guy that really, I just sat there and went, I listened to it 3 times. I went, damn, good one.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Richard Schiff, when they tried to oust him from the Intelligence Committee, when a bunch of ferrets, a bunch of treasonous little fucking ferrets sitting right next to him, tried to oust him from the committee. And the smackback was brilliant. Here it is.
My colleagues may think it's okay that the Russians offered dirt on a Democratic candidate for president as part of what was described as the Russian government's effort to help the Trump campaign. You might think that's okay. My colleagues might think it's okay that when that was offered to the son of the president, who had a pivotal role in the campaign, that the president's son did not call the FBI. He did not adamantly refuse that foreign help. No, instead, that son said that he would love the help of the Russians. You might think it's okay that he took that meeting. You might think it's okay that Paul Manafort, the campaign chair, someone with great experience in running campaigns, also took that meeting. You might think it's okay that the president's son-in-law also took that meeting. You might think it's okay that they concealed it from the public. You might think it's okay that their only disappointment after that meeting was that the dirt they received on Hillary Clinton wasn't better. You might think that's okay. You might think it's okay that when it was discovered a year later that they lied about that meeting and said it was about adoptions. You might think it's okay that the president is reported to have helped dictate that lie. You might think that's okay. I don't. Now, I have always said that the question of whether this amounts to proof of conspiracy was another matter. Whether the special counsel could prove beyond a reasonable doubt the proof of that crime would be up to the special counsel, and I would accept his decision, and I do. He's a good and honorable man, and he is a good prosecutor. But I do not think that conduct, criminal or not, is okay. And the day we do think that's okay is the day we will look back and say that is the day America lost its way. And I will tell you one more thing that is apropos of the hearing today. I don't think it's okay that during a presidential campaign, Mr. Trump sought the Kremlin's help to consummate a real estate deal in Moscow that would make him a fortune. According to the special counsel, hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think it's okay that he concealed it from the public. I don't think it's okay that he advocated a new and more favorable policy towards the Russians, even as he was seeking the Russians' help, the Kremlin's help to make money. I don't think it's okay that his attorney lied to our committee. There's a different word for that than collusion, and it's called compromise. And that is the subject of our hearing today. Mr. Ambassador, you are recognized for your opening statement.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Schiff, and that is what we call a mic drop moment. Where he basically dressed down a group of weasels, which exactly what they are, weasels.
Well, I predict that it's going to be leaked.
Assholes, treasonous pricks.
But there's going to be copies of it all over Washington.
Including my favorite, Devin Nunes.
Any day now.
Don't do your victory lap, guys, because that would be a little early, considering we haven't actually seen the report yet. It's out so at good bookstores near you.
Fox
and now
and Friends,
this something that came across my desk. Evidently, Randy, Joe Biden, Uncle Joe, creepy Uncle Joe, is being called a sexual predator.
Well,
yeah, 74-year-old Joe Biden's a sexual predator.
No, I don't think he. I mean, a sexual predator is somebody that catches something. I think he's just a bit of a touchy-feely guy,
Yeah. My thing is that look, Joe Biden will touch and feel anything, animal, vegetable, or mineral, within 300 feet of him. It's been a joke that he had going on. There was a Jon Stewart thing about it. They called him Groper Cleveland. I knew that this was going to come out, and I knew that was going to be a plan of political attack on Joe Biden. What's interesting is not that the attack came out. What's interesting is that, first of all, the women that are complaining, I'm sure that, first of all, let me just gird myself into saying that these women had no right to speak up. They had a right to speak up.
If they felt uncomfortable, they should say something.
Absolutely. Joe should keep his hands to himself. But there are things known as context and nuance, which seem to have completely left the argument of whether every white man that you don't like politically is some sort of sexual beast. He's not. Here's an article that came out. Now, you gave me this, and this is making the rounds, okay? And it's making the rounds right now. It's a reprint of an article that was in 2017. Here it is. A former Secret Service agent assigned to Vice President Joe Biden residence claims that service often had to protect female agents from him. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, well, that's convenient, the agent asserted that we had to cancel the VP Christmas get-together at Vice President's house because Biden would grope all our wives' and girlfriends' asses. The annual party was for agents of the and naval personnel who were taxed in protecting the Biden family. He would mess with every single woman or teen. It was horrible, said the agent. And then
Cats sleeping with dogs.
God, he's a
the
beast,
end of the world.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he should be in prison. End of the world until I looked. And at where this little juicy link had been re-released from. Gateway Pundit is an American far-right news and opinion website. It has been described as a fake news website. It was founded...
They won't, even your friend Fox won't look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. According to its founder, Jim Hoft, to speak the truth and expose the wickedness of the left, it came to prominence in 2016 for its favorable coverage of a guy who really is a rapist and a molester, Donald Trump.
But God ordained Donald Trump.
There is only so much hypocrisy that I can actually handle in my life. And for anyone who is a member of the Trump cadre to sit around pointing fingers at Joe Biden for being some sort of sexual predator when they're defending a guy who was allegedly raping 15-year-old girls a couple of years ago and had more than 30 different people, 30 different women, call him an abuser, a rapist, And for these pricks to sit there and mount this bullshit, and you know what's really shitty is the Democrats who are playing along with this bullshit. Let me tell you something, baby. If you got something on Joe Biden, bring it up. If you've got something that is actual provable on his thing, sure, bring it up. But if you don't, shut the fuck up. And I'm not saying this to the women who obviously were made uncomfortable. Joe Biden should be talked to. Don't do that anymore, Groper Cleveland. But let me tell you something. I do not think Joe Biden's a sexual predator. I am sick of seeing white men. Yeah, I'm defending white men. Sorry. Because I've been sitting there being told that I was a sexist for a year and a half, and I ain't no sexist.
No, just because you weren't 100% behind, under, and on top of
Well,
Hillary.
that's right. That's right. I wasn't behind Hillary. Evidently, that made me a sexist. And every time I tried to discuss a position with a Hillary person, they went back to that convenient cudgel of I'm a white man, therefore I am not allowed to have an opinion. Now, I had a discussion on the internet just the other day in which somebody said, I more politely than this, I stated my position that a 50-year career of which he has fought for equal pay for women, he's fought for no means no, he's fought for everything that women would want him to fight for as a Democrat. His record on women's rights is really good. And for you to sit there and play along with the friggin' Trumpites in trying to smear this guy's 50-year career on nothing but bullshit, and that's what it is, means that I am sick of women who think that simply because white men exist that we're all responsible for Me Too. We're not. And if the only defense you have for a policy argument is the fact that I'm a white man and I shouldn't have an opinion, well, I'm sorry. I don't believe in collective guilt. I don't believe in it. I have always been respectful to women. My favorite people are women. I'm married to a feminist. I don't need a lecture from you. And I certainly don't need a lecture from people who, at the time of which they get politically active, they're like 20 years old. Honey, I was marching for the Equal Rights Amendment. I marched before you were a sperm. Before you were friggin' born.
Ew.
All right? No, I'm just saying this. I was out there championing women's rights when it wasn't too popular, when the Equal Rights Amendment was out there, when we were going up against Phyllis Schlafly and all that. And I don't need to be lectured to by some pubescent jerk on the left who thinks that he's cornered the market on purity simply because every white man shouldn't be listened to. I'm sick of it. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Me too.
Absolutely. Cut it out. The Me Too movement is a serious thing. And for everybody to sit there and play along with these Trumpites in smearing a guy who you were perfectly okay with in 2015. By the way, none of this shit, it was a joke in 2016. Now, suddenly it isn't. And somebody said on the internet, why do you think this was a political hit job? Because I wasn't fucking born yesterday. That's why.
Yeah.
If you think that this isn't a political hit job that's being reprinted by Gateway Pundit and Breitbart, then you're a fucking political infant. Stop it. Yeah. And I've said my 2 cents. That's it. and you know, 1 million people are going to listen to this, and our ratings are going to go down. I don't care.
That happened last time you talked about something.
You got to understand something, guys. This is my podcast. You're going to hear what I think. It is prejudice to my point of view. If you wish to respond, absolutely. You know, one of my favorite things is I actually ask people that disagree with me, hey, listen, man, I'll call you. You can have a segment on the show. Go ahead. I have never once had anyone take me up on that.
They won't do it.
Not one.
Never.
So, cut it out. Just cut it out. We don't need to be playing along with Trump's policies. Your take, Randy, I'm sorry.
Well, I happen to agree because in the next half of the show, I'm going to talk about Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg, married, gay, Afghanistan veteran, Rhodes Scholar, fluent in 7 languages, Harvard graduate.
And a nice guy, and really articulate.
And he's only 37 years old. He's the two-term mayor of South Bend, Indiana. And this guy, 74% of people have no problem with him being gay and think he is absolutely the kind of person that we should see running for president. And including Barack Obama, who has declared him one of the 4 people who could save the Democratic Party.
Well, I'm always very skeptical about. I'd like to see his positions on things because I'm a policy guy. But let me tell you something. I heard
it's all there already.
I heard him, and he's impressive.
Did you hear him on the Colbert
He is
show?
very impressive. He's very impressive.
He's 37 years old. You and I are old enough to be his grandfather.
I'll tell you, man. A lot of a lot of these people, like Beto, just puts me to sleep because platitudes run out of his friggin' hole faster than his election announcement was. It should have been it should have been released as elevator music. It was the most vague set of bullshit. Blah, blah, blah kind of stuff. And the difference...
Mayor Pete?
Mayor Pete, though, actually has something to say.
Yeah.
And he actually says it...
And and his policies are all there
already. Right. I'm not sitting there getting kind of... what do I saw? Hillary deja vu listening to Mayor Pete. Hillary deja vu is what I feel every time I listen to Beto O'Rourke. Somebody called him Obama White. I think that's exactly. I think that he is.
No, I agree with you there. And the Biden Beto campaign that's terrible.
Well, I don't think Biden's the right choice right now. I really don't. But my thing is that I've never disliked Biden. I don't think personally he's a bad person. And a lot of people on the left have decided that they want to dive in on this kind of, if we get Biden out of there, then Bernie's okay. Well, the Biden people think that Bernie did this. If the Bernie people did this, shame on them. No. Shame on them. But it's not the Bernie people, it's the Trump people. And with Uncle Pete, I think that Mayor Pete, Uncle Joe and Mayor Pete, we're kind of building a Mr. Rogers neighborhood.
It's not like Mr. Green. One of them's going to come out and be Mr.
Green Jeans. Yeah. It's kind of like a Mr. Rogers neighborhood of contestants. Hey!
Yeah.
All right. Listen, I'm going to call it there. I've gone about 40 minutes.
Should, too. Look at the time.
And we are going to take a break, and then Randy has a rant. So, Randy?
Well, I've got to go after Mayor Pete and outline who he is and what he believes in and that sort of thing.
Fantastic. We're going to be back after some comedy that Randy brought in, and we'll be back with Randy's Rant in just a moment.
Bye.
Thanks, Wolf. Always great to be with you.
Thanks so much for joining us. And I want to start by playing a little of what you've told me on the question of President Trump and collusion. Listen to this.
Is there any doubt in my mind that he colluded with Russia? I don't know. Do George and Kellyanne sleep in the same bed? No. Wolf, the answer is no. There's no doubt. It's Mueller time, motherfucker. Lock him up. Lock him up. Impeach!
So as you know, according to the special counsel, Robert Mueller, the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government. Are you ready to accept that conclusion from Robert Mueller?
100%, Wolf. This is only good news for the country, and I am here today to say that I am ready to leave this behind us and move on without some big song and dance. Excuse me. OMG, he's reached a conclusion. Holy shit! I'm sorry to curse, bitch. Thankfully, there's been no collusion, so why don't I feel better yet? In fact, I feel worse.
The Mueller report now turned in. Robert Mueller's work is over.
It's lasted 22 months. It's no wonder we're stressed. I wish we could just let it go. The things that we learned are not what we guessed. And as for the rest, we may never know.
How much, if anything, will America get to see?
I've I've got those, yay, it's finally over, wait, it's only just beginning blues. Those damn you, Robert Mueller, I mean, thank you for your service feelings. Those give me that report, now throw this trash in the bin. Congratulations, Hannity, but wait, what'd you win? Those what about obstruction, here comes Rudy Giuliani feelings. Those is it really over, can we still indict Ivanka blues?
Robert Mueller has delivered his report, but the political fight over it is just beginning.
Repeatedly he stated,
no collusion.
He said, I guess that he was right.
Are there any Russians here tonight?
Is he exonerated?
Total exoneration.
Technically, not quite.
Mueller stopping short of exonerating the president.
His comments were off color.
And we kicked their ass.
He'd constantly deny.
No collusion.
No collusion.
No collusion.
No collusion.
And slander Mr. Mueller.
But the entire thing has been a witch hunt.
Now look who's his favorite guy. He's got those maybe if I hadn't been so shady in the first place blues.
Russia, if you're listening.
Those LOL I told you so, oh god that was a close one feelings. Those I'm so smart I knew it was a hoax and a hunt. Now I'll play the victim till I get what I want. That I should be more honest, but it's not what Daddy taught me. Feelings, those no, I haven't read it. Time for celebrations. How is it your business what I do with foreign nations? Hope they just forget those other 12 investigations. Blues. Well, 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 look at you with no convictions. I tell you, it's a great day to be an American. I mean, Donald Trump, Jussie Smollett, you in that pink blouse, people are getting away with murder around here. Sarah, will we ever see the full report?
I think that the president is doing exactly what he should, and that's leaving that decision into the hands of the attorney general.
Well, is it wrong for the president to claim this is a total exoneration when the attorney general's letter clearly says it's not?
It is. It is a complete and total exoneration, and here's why.
You are really feeling yourself today.
Because the special counsel, they said they couldn't make a decision one way or the other. The way the process works is then they leave that up to the attorney.
I've got those. Nancy, go and get them. Never mind, girl, I'm exhausted. Blues. Mueller blues. Those are what the hell is Comey doing standing in a forest? Feelings. Those bartender, we're gonna need to refill my cup. And since there's no collusion, could you make something up? And why does Devin's cow have way more followers than I do? Feelings. Those is it over? What just happened? Can't we just arrest Ivanka? Where's the rest? I gotta see it. Give it to me. I don't want it. Yes, no, black, white, red, blue, left, right. Thank you. Go away now. Please don't leave me, Robert Mueller.
Major victory for President to investigation.
Coming to you live in a living color from parts unknown. So by now, y'all seen that my president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, or as I like to call him, the Don Quixote of presidents, came out and said that all these windmills and windmill farms are giving everybody cancer. And I, for one, believe him, because my grandpa, old Pop, I miss you every day, Pop, he had a couple windmills in his backyard, and since he smoked about 3 packs a day, he was always out there just puttering around, and till one day he up and caught cancer and died, and it's because of them windmills. I know it. You know, I don't even trust no windmills anymore. I seen a little kid walking around out here with one of them pinwheels. I slapped it out of his hand. I said, thank me later when you don't get cancer. I don't think you realize how much, you know, how dangerous all this green energy is. You know, my friend, he took a Uber home from the strip club, and guy was driving a Prius, one of them, you know, foo-foo cars, and my friend caught herpes because of that Prius. You know, I seen it firsthand. I was down at Aldi's. They give me one of them cloth reusable bags. I'll be damned if I don't catch a touch of ED for the next couple of weeks because of that bag. Y'all don't understand. This shit is dangerous. You know, why do you think they burnt that windmill in Frankenstein? You know, it wasn't because the people feared what they didn't understand. I know that. And it wasn't because all the big energy companies got their hands in the pockets of the politicians, and politicians lie and say all these fossil fuels ain't dangerous and deny climate change, and then all these big energy companies line their own pockets while they destroy the environment without any repercussions for doing so. Y'all don't understand. You know, all this green energy shit's dangerous. Solar, wind, rain, tides, waves, geothermal energy, that shit'll kill you. All I'm saying is, I said it once and I'll say it again. You know, it's fossil fuels from here on. Jesus Christ. My asthma kicked in. But anyway, I'm raising the emotional support beer to you, Mr. Trump, for telling the truth and telling it like it is, you know, with all this windmill cancer and Prius herpes and not being able to get your thing up past half-mast because them canvas bags they got down at Aldi's. And as always, fuck the NFL and go Colts.
Yes, folks, the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Hang on.
And this is...
Yeah, am I Jack Webb or am I...
You are whoever you want to be in
or
this.
Harry Morgan.
You could be Jack Webb. I liked Harry Morgan.
I like him too.
I'll be Colonel Potter. That's what I'm going to be.
All right.
What do you got for us
Well,
today,
no,
Randy?
I'm going to back announce those two lovely
do.
people. My namesake, Randy Rainbow.
Yeah.
He never fails to amuse. That was his take on the Russia probe, the Mueller report. And we actually had two. He came up with two this week because we have his take on the Education Secretary DeVos.
By the way, Randy Rainbow.
Yeah.
Okay. This is fantastic. He is a genius.
He is, but he's been doing this now for years.
Subscribe to his YouTube, and if he's in town, see him.
And he actually appeared on Broadway a couple of weeks ago in one of those musicals that they only do like 5 performances of. And
such a talent.
They did Call Me Madam, which is about originally starred Ethel Merman, and it was about one of Eisenhower's appointments as an ambassador, and it was sort of just a take, and it was a wonderful film, wonderful stage. But they did this one, and he appeared as a Washington dignitary with the pink glasses and everything, and the show just stopped. It just stopped while people just roared. And
but here's a New York. I mean, I used to hang out in New York in the '80s, and you'd audition for musicals, and you'd have these extraordinarily talented triple threats.
Yeah.
Sing, dance, act, do it all. And this is one of those guys who started doing his YouTube station in his house, and now he's got. I saw an interview with him on ABC.
Yeah.
And the BBC the other day.
He's terrific.
He's astoundingly clever.
Yeah, but see, in this era of what would you call it? This era of social media, you've got so many. Look at Young Turks is now a major media empire.
It is,
and it just started out as Cenk Uygur and a few Anna Kasparian just doing their take on certain political things. They're just terrific.
Well, I mean, when you have nothing but MSNBC, CNN, and and Fox to listen to get your news.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, PBS is the only thing I actually tune into the PBS news.
Now the other
a lot.
The other one.
But other than that, forget it.
Well,
anyway,
I hope that your friend Donald Trump doesn't get rid of the whole PBS network, which he's threatening to do.
Oh, he wants to.
Yeah, he wants
to. Republicans have always had it hard on the PBS.
Now the other one, Brent Terhune is his name. He's the redneck patriot. He drinks a support Budweiser. He's able to carry that can of Budweiser everywhere. I miss you, Pop. He's no longer with us. I get erectile dysfunction from reusable bags.
I get erectile dysfunction from reusable bags.
He's hilarious, and I'm going to try to find more of his stuff.
The Redneck Patriot on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what's going on? Tell us, what do you bring in today?
My rant.
Yeah.
I think, I can't believe it, but America is taken to this young gentleman His name is Pete Buttigieg. Buttigieg. Now, repeat after me. It's like butt, edge, edge, really quickly. It's not
Buttigieg.
It's not but. Mayor Pete is, even Obama has acknowledged that he's one of the 4 Democrats that could save the party. He's 37 years old. He's only 2 years old enough to qualify as president.
Yeah.
He was born in South Bend, Indiana. He ran for mayor and won with 74% of the vote. Now, this is an openly gay man who is married.
Right.
74% of the vote. He went to Harvard, graduated summa cum laude. I think that's something to do with coffee.
No, that's really smart.
He was a Rhodes Scholar, as was Bill Clinton. He's a millennial. My sister just thinks he's just amazing. He took a leave from the mayorhood or whatever it's called, and went to Afghanistan because he was a naval reservist with naval intelligence, and did a stint there. Did a tour of Afghanistan, came back, resumed as mayor, and was reelected. You know, this guy has got everything going for him. Now, Pete Buttigieg is. He's been on a couple of shows. He's been on, the evening shows, and just
he's made the rounds.
People are just amazed that a young man who has all these things going for him and things going against him, like being openly gay and married, etc., is still doing incredibly well in the polls.
Okay.
So
do you have something from him?
Yeah, have a listen to this clip. Listen to what some of the things he has to say, and listen to some of the things people have to say about him, and especially how to say his name, Buttigieg. Buttigieg.
Okay, it's Keith Buttigieg, is it?
Pete.
Yeah. Oh, it's Mayor Pete, of course.
Yeah,
Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
On Randy's rant. Here it is.
First things first. A lot of people are asking, how do you pronounce this guy's name? It's pronounced Pete, okay? It's like peaches, but you just stop, all right? Pete, that's it. Oh, and as for his last name, we're still figuring that one out.
Pete Buttigieg.
South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg. I always say his name wrong. Buttigieg.
Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg.
Peter Buttigieg, the mayor of Indianapolis.
Best way to pronounce your last name.
Buttigieg, but around South Bend they just call me Mayor Pete, and that's fine with me.
Oh, thank God, Mayor Pete. We'll take Mayor Pete. Yeah, because people were really struggling with this one. It's not Buddha Edge, it's not Buddha J, and it's definitely not Butt Tag. That was a weird one, Butt Tag. Butt Tag is actually the name of another movie that Hickenlooper saw with his mom. That's what that is. It's Buttigieg. But now that we're on the same page on how to say his name, what has he done?
For a guy who's only 37, Pete Buttigieg boasts an impressive resume. First elected mayor of his hometown at age 29, a Harvard-educated Rhodes Scholar, as well as a lieutenant in the Navy Reserve.
Took an unpaid 7-month leave during his mayoral term for a deployment to Afghanistan.
Not only the first openly gay presidential candidate, he's also a newlywed.
Would be a president of firsts, the first to be elected in his 30s, the first millennial, the first openly gay commander-in-chief, and the first mayor.
This is the only chance you'll ever get to vote for a Maltese-American left-handed Episcopalian gay war veteran mayor millennial.
Okay, wait. Maltese-American? Are you guys telling me this guy's pot little dog? Because if that's true, he is gonna win every white person's vote in this country. White people love them little ass dogs. Love them! But seriously though, I can see why people are impressed by Buttigieg, right? He has such a unique bio. He's a veteran, a Harvard graduate, and a Rhodes Scholar who's openly gay and also so young that if he served 2 terms as president, when he came out, he would still only be 46. Yeah, plus, he's a concert pianist and speaks 7 languages, including Norwegian, which he learned just so that he could read Norwegian books. Compare that to America's current president, who has read 0 books and is fluent in 0 languages. In fact, Buttigieg is pretty much the exact opposite of Donald Trump in every way. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he also has the world's largest hands. And I know you might be saying, so what, Trevor? Buttigieg is a cool guy. So what? There are plenty of cool guys, okay? And that's true. There are plenty of cool guys. I mean, like, do you guys know Brian? He's so cool. He has, like, a motorcycle, and one time he saw a dead body by the train tracks. Super cool. But Buttigieg isn't just Brian-level cool. No. As mayor, he's also got a record worth bragging about.
He ran for mayor at 29 years old in a place Newsweek labeled a dying city. He won.
South Bend, Indiana was one of the top 10 most decaying cities in the country. He has done things to turn around housing in the area. He's done things with pedestrianizing the city.
He transformed an old factory into a business park for tech companies. He raised the minimum wage for city employees, and now he is working on a paid family leave plan.
Okay, first of all, can we just acknowledge how mean it is that someone made a list of the top 10 most decaying cities? That's heartless. That's like People magazine doing an issue on the world's most unfuckable meth addicts. Why would you do that? I mean, it's a great way for Scabby Greg to get his name out there, but still, people, not cool. This guy has a pretty resume. This is a pretty impressive resume, though, right? As mayor, he's done many things. And I know many people will try to dismiss Buttigieg as just some small-town mayor who's too young to be commander-in-chief. But according to him, he sees his age as an asset.
I belong to the generation that provided a lot of the troops for the post-9/11 conflicts, the generation that's going to be on the business end of climate change. And statistically, we run the risk of being the first generation in American history to actually be worse off economically than our parents if nothing is done to change the trajectory of this economy. It's a concern that calls on us to build an alliance among generations to try to make sure that the future really is better than the past. And you don't get that by promising to turn back the clock.
Now, of course, he doesn't want to turn back the clock. If we did, he'd just be a baby in a suit. I'm baby. Now, if you're watching this going, Trevor, why are you only showing us the positive things about Pete Buttigieg? Because that's all we could find, all right? No, I'm being serious. There's no dirt on this guy, like nothing. Usually candidates have some skeletons somewhere, but even his skeletons are singing his praises. He gave me calcium for my bones. And I'll be honest, guys, I'm suspicious of any candidate who is this perfect, right? I've been burned too many times, okay? In fact, I think Mayor Pete should do something bad to prove that he's normal. Yeah, like maybe he should just wear a little blackface. Or, you know, maybe he should defend Michael Jackson. Or I don't know, go and watch porn with Hickenlooper's mom. Something, anything. Because until something comes up, that's basically all you need to know about Pete Buttigieg. God damn it, I was doing so well!
Yeah, that's Trevor Noah. And I like Trevor Noah. Mayor Pete, though, that's a rather interesting concept, Mayor Pete.
Well,
I'm not sure about it.
Why do you say that? Why do you...
Well, you know what?
Too young, do you think?
No. I'm not saying anything bad. He mentioned climate change. That's nice for a change. You know, he said we're going to be the business end of climate change. But you know what? Considering I'm I'm not completely sold on the fact that whether we vote him out or not, he's going to leave. But in the next election, I want to know, what are you planning? What do you want to do? What are you championing? Tell me. Are you in favor of the Green New Deal? Are you in favor of Medicare for all?
Okay, here.
Yes or no?
Do you want me to answer all those things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like Pete to answer those questions. And
Well,
if not,
he has.
And what did he say?
I will tell you. Let me just
let's go.
Bring it up.
Let's imagine that Mayor Pete's here.
Yeah. Okay. What did you think about? I mean, openly gay and married. So
I don't care.
Okay, good.
That's not my problem. I seriously.
No,
that's what people don't understand when they sit around saying, "Well, it should be a woman." No, it should be the most capable person to do the job we need to do.
Exactly, but we've never had
I
a
don't
first
care
man.
if you're a woman or, quite frankly, if you are a walking, talking potato chip. It doesn't matter to me.
That's what they've got now.
That's true. We do. It's a Cheeto, not a potato chip. But, you know, whatever. Okay. But yes, do you have this information from this mystical Mayor Pete, who I've never heard of before?
Okay, I just have to bring it up. So
he's very nice. I think he's very nice. You know what I thought? I thought that Beto kind of fizzled a bit.
Oh, has he ever?
So here's the next boy wonder to come up.
But he could end up being, say, for instance, Bernie's VP.
I don't think Bernie has it in the bag at all. But I think that people
but Bernie needs somebody like this because people know he may only be a one-term president.
Well, the thing with Bernie Sanders is I know where he stands.
Yeah.
I know exactly where he stands.
Okay.
And I've known that that's been consistent. What does Mayor Pete stand for? What does he want?
Mayor Pete. Here's Mayor Pete for health care. Okay.
Yes.
Medicare for all who want it. So it's sort of like what we have in Australia. You have Medicare, but if you want to have private health insurance, you can.
No.
So he doesn't want to eliminate private health insurance. He would.
Yeah, I think that's a good compromise. But why would I compromise? Why would I compromise? If I'm going to someone to the table, this is the Democratic Party in a nutshell does this all the time.
Yeah.
Is that they compromise before they even hit the bargaining table.
All right. Well, he's saying
I want somebody going in there and saying, "No, I want Medicare for all," and that's what we're going to get.
It is Medicare for all, but if you want extra, like we have here, you pay for it.
That goes without saying. But that's what they have in Canada.
But he's saying that politicians, his quote is, politicians who let the phrase Medicare for all escape their lips also have to account for how you're going to get there.
Bernie's already said how he's going to get there.
You have to have some sort of transition. Okay,
Yes.
the Green New Deal.
all right.
Colbert,
Yep.
he said that he supports the economic opportunities presented in the Green New Deal. He says the Democratic Party needs to have that conversation.
Oh, bullshit.
What?
No. Okay, I've heard that shit before. No, we don't need a conversation. There is no conversation. Seriously, there is no fucking conversation.
Well, right now people aren't even
considering
considering
another
it.
person who's going to sit there. Well, we should meet and talk about it. You know what? The UN did that. The Kyoto Protocol did that. We have had meeting upon meeting, and I don't need another dickwad from the Democratic Party going, "Oh, well, we definitely should talk about it." No, in 12 years we're going to be dead. I don't want another conversation, Mayor Pete.
Okay, immigration.
Yeah.
What was that?
Is he?
Immigration.
Yeah. What about it?
He supports the deferred action for all childhood arrivals and a path to citizenship for all of them.
Good.
He says he's thinking of sending troops. He says sending troops to the border is a waste of time.
Yeah, of course.
And he says that as a religious man, he believes religious teaches people to take care of others, including immigrants.
Okay.
Women are treated. He's pro-open choice.
Good.
He says when it comes to late-term abortion, when a woman is in that situation, it's extremely difficult, painful, and often medically serious, and it's entirely up to her. An involvement of a male government is not helpful.
Good.
Gun policy. After the shooting at Sandy Hook, he joined Mayors Against Illegal Guns, which supports comprehensive background checks and opposes guns in schools and permitless carry. He says 90% of Americans and 80% of Republicans do believe in universal background checks.
Background checks are not what you need. You need to have real gun control, and that means you need to bring back.
You can't buy a gun without a background check.
You need to bring back the Brady Bill.
Yeah. Okay.
Automatic weapons.
I do not. He thinks he didn't carry an assault weapon around a foreign country. He doesn't see why anybody has to carry one around in America.
Yeah, but
So
with background
it's-
checks, they can. That's what I'm saying. The real thing.
No,
you
they
have
won't.
to,
They won't be for sale. I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying. I didn't carry
Okay.
one. Why should anybody here carry one? Okay, taxes. He's referred to the. He suggests this 70% marginal tax rate. He said we can quibble over it, but he knows a lot of people in this country are not paying their fair share. So he thinks that obviously he's going in that direction, that there will be a higher marginal tax rate. Foreign affairs.
yeah, okay.
because
Get back to the tax rate. Get back to the
Okay.
tax rate.
Yeah.
I know what Bernie wants to do by taxing Wall Street, by doing a small tax on every buy and sell on Wall Street.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's how you're gonna fund it.
a transaction
So
tax.
tell me exactly what's his plan.
Oh, I'd have to read the whole paragraph.
Well, no, we have to read it. And the thing is whenever I hear those kind of buzzwords, my ears go up. My ears go up. And doesn't mean this bad.
That would not look pleasant.
Yeah, but this guy's not a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. But I think that, I really do think that I don't know enough about him, and I need to look. Now, of course, I'm a Bernie guy. I'm going to go with Bernie anyway.
Look, this article I'm reading from is just pieced together from other interviews he's done.
I just
think
feel
that-
why is this guy suddenly getting The View and all the national media storm? Why?
Because he's running for
Why did
president.
CNN do a town hall? This guy, why isn't like there are 300 candidates out of the? Why is the national news suddenly focused on this guy?
All right, he had his town hall with CNN.
Yeah.
He's actually doing better than Cory Booker and a lot of names that everybody knows.
Yeah.
And even Barack Obama has pointed him out as the Democrat to watch. So I think that's why.
Ah, right. So Barack Obama's behind him, is he?
Well, he's pointed him out. How's that?
I'm sure he has.
Yeah. And the Washington Post says he's the most interesting mayor that you've never heard of. I mean, right now it's a joke. The first openly gay presidential nominee for a major party.
I don't think it's a joke. I think he's very.
No, but everybody else thinks he's a joke.
I think he's no. He's being pushed. Trust me.
Good.
Trust me. No. But I'm saying is if this guy's from out of nowhere, and I'm just looking from overseas, so I might have my head up my ass. I don't know. I might be wrong. But
look at Bill Clinton. Let's wait till New Hampshire and see what happens.
Look. There are people within the Democratic Party who looked at Bill Clinton and said that guy is a political racehorse. And I've seen Mayor Pete interviewed a few times. He's good. He's really good. He's like very sincere. He comes off very well, very articulate, very smart. He wasn't annoying like Beto O'Rourke. O'Rourke, the way he's always talking with his hands.
Yeah.
And he's like this hyperactive Cocker Spaniel. But then when you actually listen to the shit he's saying, it doesn't mean much. It's just all platitudes and generalizations. That's my litmus test. If I start hearing platitudes, I turn off. When I start hearing somebody say, "This is what I stand for," and this is what I want to do.
Okay, let's give him a chance. I haven't seen the town hall. Maybe I should.
Yeah, no, I will too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Mayor Pete, we'll give you a. Hey, get out of the tent. Get out of the tent. Yeah, evidently Mayor Pete's coming. He's going to be running for president too. A guy named Mayor Pete. Give him a round of applause. There you go. They were very enthusiastic about Mayor Pete.
Thanks, kids.
Yeah, they like the younger ones.
Go back to bed.
Yes.
Now, well, it's late. The people don't realize it's late at night. They're probably listening to this over their Wheaties, and they just spewed them out. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, we've actually been I've been slowing down on this show because, quite frankly, I got to tell you something, Randy, and I think you know this. It's sometimes kind of depressing doing this show.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
man.
we said we were going to start doing movie reviews and playing more music, but we just can't.
Absolutely. We're having an idea fest here that we might put on a little
light entertainment.
Light entertainment.
Because we're entertainers.
Well, yeah. We're old people with a lot of time on our
We're old
hands.
actors.
We're old actors.
Yeah.
So what we might do...
Sitting here in the retirement home.
Yeah, no one talks to us.
Enter!
I'd like a glass of tea and some soup. So, listen, we were thinking about doing a smaller podcast with just kind of like stuff you can do that's fun and, like television shows that we've seen. And
we'll have quizzes. We'll have quizzes. Nobody listens to this live, so we're going to win all of them.
Yeah, we'll win every quiz. But listen, we might be doing that, say, like every other week or something like that. Last week, it was just like, I got to admit for the first time after the Mueller report came out that I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do the podcast.
That was so disappointing.
I sat there and I went, "Oh well, fuck it anyway. I'm getting a beer." I just don't even want to think about it. And then he opens his mouth every time, and you can't. It's like a road accident. You can't turn away. And it's
a public execution.
Yeah.
The guillotine or something.
Yeah, it's really depressing. I was talking to a friend of mine who came over here, who's also an American, an expat American, and we were just talking about how my country has changed, and for us it's jarring because we see it kind of like time lapse photography. We go over, we see our families, and then we come back, and. It depresses me to no end. So I took a break. I just said,
why don't we just
it anymore.
Willie, this is show number 230. Why don't we just rerun some?
No.
They'll never know.
No. Then I sit down and I do the show with you and I enjoy it. Then you know what gives me immense satisfaction is the fact that we're never going to be a big podcast. We're a small podcast.
Oh, I thought it was something else that gave you immense satisfaction.
Yeah, no, but it does. So every now and then I look back and we get some mail occasionally, and people are actually listening to us. Not huge amounts, but enough.
You're still getting my donation?
Yes, I am. Thank you for donating to your podcast. Faith, by the way, if you're listening, thank you for your donation. And we've gotten a few donations. Listen, if you like the show and you like going through the political wilderness with us every couple of weeks, think about giving us a sponsorship. You go to www.expatprogressive.podbean.com, or you can actually go to our much neglected webpage, thebillshow.net, where there's a sponsor button, and you're going to find all sorts of
It's
pictures.
still got my primary school picture, I think.
Yeah, the pictures of us, and you realize what a hackneyed operation this is. But we are here at the Bill Show Studios, high atop our mountainside retreat.
No, we're not.
Here
We're
in
150
Australia.
miles apart.
Yeah, we are. We are actually. That's through. Anyway, guys, listen. I have a great song that I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I'm going to.
Not Bobby Sherman again, please.
No, I'm not going to play Bobby Sherman again. No. But I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it'll be something nice. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen. See you around next time. And
see you around like a Risso, yeah.
Yeah, review us over at iTunes, and we'll see you next time in about a week and a half or so. We'll try to do 2 this month. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you.